In this review, we will be taking a look at the Hasbro The Black Series Ronin and R5-D56 action figure 2-pack. This item did release April of 2025, and depending on where you purchase this figure, it should have retailed for about $70 to $80. But either way, let's get on to the review. Now here's the figure out of the packaging along with all of its accessories. The first accessory is a bamboo stick. The sculpt is nice and simple with just some lines evenly spread throughout. The only thing that stands out is the top of the stick. There is also this clip piece, and for how small it is, the sculpt on it is really well done. As for using this item, it is pretty simple. All you want to do is push it into one of the 6 holes that is on the figure, and to keep it stable and not wobble around, you can just lay it onto the hat, and the figure does look good holding it. The next accessories are these blast effects. They are just molded in a light blue transparent plastic, with the sculpt on these being nice and clean. As for using this item, it is pretty simple. All you are going to want to do is to plug them into the boosters. The next accessories are these rocket boosters, and they are just molded in a light gray plastic. As for the sculpt, it is nice with all the necessary lines throughout. Now to interchange them, just get your fingernails under the existing ones and pull, then just push the new ones into place. And the boosters along with the blast effects are not going anywhere. And the next accessories are these 5 gadgets. There is one with a kind of triangle at the end, one with a kind of fork look to it, one with a little more details than the others, one with a bunch of pointy bits at the end, and the last one is the only one with paint, and this one has a gun at the end. You can store them inside of the figure. Just keep slightly rotating the head while pulling up, and eventually the inner notches will align. Then push the extra gadgets into these notches inside the head. If they don't fit the first time, just slightly rotate them or just put them in another slot. And once you do that, it should close all the way. As for using any of them on the figure, just push on the outer edge of the panel. It may require a little bit of force. You just want a small enough gap to fit your nail into so you can pry it open. And once you do that, just push them into any of the 6 holes. You can also put every single gadget that comes with the figure, even the one that is meant to hold the bamboo stick. However, it will stick out at a slight angle. Now let's take a closer look at the figure. Here is a closer look at the head. Here is a closer look at the inner neck piece. Here is a closer look at the body. The final accessory is a lightsaber. It is just molded in a black plastic with some nice clean light gray paint on the handle, along with some really nice gunmetal gray paint on the top and bottom of the hilt. And the blade is a nicely colored translucent red plastic. You can also remove the blade from the handle if you wanted to. To store the blade, all you're going to do is to slide it into the sheath. Just make sure when pushing it in that the angles on the hilt and the sheath match, and it fits into the figure's hand nice and tight. Now technically there is an extra accessory that is on the figure. I don't think it is meant to come off because the sheath is sculpted on, and there is also a peg sticking out, but it does fit into the figure's hand. Now let's take a closer look at the figure. Here is a closer look at the head. Here is a closer look at the torso. Here is a closer look at the arms. Here is a closer look at the legs. This is how far up the head can look, and this is how far it can look down. There is a pivot that allows the head to look this far to its right and this far to its left, as well as rotate all the way around. This is how far down the shoulders can move, and this is how far out they can move. There is a butterfly joint that can move forward as well as back and rotate all the way around. Single jointed elbows, rotation at the elbow. There is a ball joint at the forearm that allows it to move any which way you like. The wrists are on a weapon hinge so they can move side to side as well as rotate. The torso area can move this far forward in total and this far back in total. And there is a pivot from right to left and rotate all the way around. The hips can move out, forward, as well as back. This is how far the knees can move, and there is rotation at the knee, calf rotation, and the feet can move up, down, as well as pivot. The cloak does have a bendy wire which you can move however you like. It is a thick wire that moves from the front along the edges to the other side. As for the size comparison, here's the figure compared to some average body molds from multiple different companies such as Diamond Select Toys, Hasbro, McFarlane Toys, NECA, Reveltech, and SH Figuarts. Now my personal rating for this set is a 7 out of 10 at the level 3 scale. Now my reasoning for that score is that I think the price is just way too high. At about $70, that makes each figure about $35 each. And considering that they released a normal painted Ronin at the standard $28, that makes each figure $7 more for no real reason. Now yes, this was a Japan exclusive for May the 4th, but it eventually went up on Hasbro Pulse as well as on Amazon, and it even went on sale, which is how I got mine. Now the figures are nicely done, but like any figure, there are some problems. First, the bendy wire cloak is just not that good. It is a really thick wire that doesn't wrap around the figure that well, and it feels really cheap, especially when you consider the price. Another thing is that the airbrushing on the figure is just on the front. I can maybe understand the back not having the paint, but the arms not being fully covered when they should have been does suck. As for the astromech, it is perfect. I don't have anything bad to say about it other than, again, the price. So at the end of the day, the main thing that sucks about this figure is that the price is just too high, but last I checked on Amazon, it was going for about $55, and you can even buy a colored version of the Ronin right now, and I would assume that they will be doing a colored version of the astromech, because why wouldn't they? It would just be easy reuse. And if they do that, I would probably just sell or trade this set for the colored versions, because the only real thing about this set is obviously that they're black and white, but also the soft goods. But again, they are not really that good. They feel cheap, the wire's super thick, not at the edges, so I might consider getting the colored versions, but only time will tell. Now thanks for watching this review. I will leave you with one question, and that is, what did you think about the Star Wars Vision show? Let me know in the comments from the good, the bad, or any thought you may have. Now fuck off.